Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel Brand Masika Reaction. So guys, colorism, racism and classism has been a major effect to Jamaica. So for today's on this channel I want us to watch about the different reaction people that about colorism and racism and classism. So if you are coming across any of my video for the very first time, remember to like, share and not forgetting to subscribe. So let's watch together and I'll back with more comments. Enjoy.
If you are Jamaican anywhere in the world, answer this question. Have you ever experienced racism with different advantages or disadvantages? I'm going to answer first. I will go first. Now, I live in America. I live in North Carolina to be exact. And me used to work in a more country, a more rural part of North Carolina. I used to work there for 4 years. I used to manage a store. I used to work down there for 4 years. And in the 4 years, I've been pulled over about 10 times. Only get a ticket one time. Now, as a Jamaican, you might have said, yo, you're lucky, dog, you're lucky. But if you live in America long enough, you understand the messaging in that, and you understand what that means. Because here's the thing, when them say in America, them don't know if you're Jamaican or you're American, them just know say you're black. That first thing them say, you are black, and you drive a car in a place where it's most white people. So most time they stop me. Sometimes they ask me for license, or ask me where me I go, why me in the area. They might ask you that. They will ask you why you're there, where you're there, and what reason you have for there. That is how it works. Also, I've been called the N-word before. You see me, I said, I'm not really business, because I'm going to come from here, that really do nothing to me. But yeah, I've experienced racism in America before. So if you have, drop in the comments, let me know whatever your experience was. Make sure you follow me.
I can give you the craziest experience I've had as it relates to both racism and classism in Jamaica. It was during COVID. Me and 6 of my friends had broken the No Movement Day. We were hanging out at Cherry Hill. 5 of them were they looked of a certain complexion. Everybody lives within 30 seconds of where that thing was, right? I was the only one who was driving to come there. When I got up there and 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, a police squad car came. All of my 5 friends were searched. Their cars were stripped down. When it came to my turn, they asked me if I was okay, if I knew I was breaking the thing, if I knew how to go back home. And I said, all right, well, we're just going to follow you and make sure you get in and everything's cool. And then I reach home and them stopped me at the gate and said, why you go on the road and them thing there? I said, well, I'm born weed, you know. And they said, well, no, do it again. And then we drive off and leave me. Now, those police officers didn't look like me.
We have to talk about colorism in the Caribbean, and I can firsthand speak about it in Jamaica because I know there are some Jamaicans who look down on people because they are darker skinned, which is just insane to me. And let me give you guys a perfect example. I remember I had someone ask me what color I want Gina to be, like what if I want her to have my eyes, whatever, you know. And I said to them that the only thing I want her to have is cool, dark, a nice, cool, brown, dark complexion. That's all I want. And the person was like, what? Why would you want that? And I'm like, what do you mean, why wouldn't I want that? I remember when I did a video on social media stating that when I saw Gina, when I saw Gina for the first time as a baby, and I saw that she was looking white, I was so disappointed until I picked her up and checked her ear and saw that her skin is going to have a nice, cool, brown complexion. And people in the comments was asking me, why would I say that? That is so weird because I want my child to be darker skin. And that just blows my mind. I know it doesn't only happen in Jamaica. It happens in different Caribbean islands as well. And to me, we need to have these conversations more because I've seen where when somebody's in an argument, and say, for instance, the other person is darker skin, that's the first thing they're coming after. Oh, you're black and ugly like tar. You get me, I say? And we need to break from those stuff because it's honestly sad. It can honestly mess with people's confidence, and that is what sometimes stems people to bleach, right? Yeah, this is a whole conversation. I know I come near me up in the comments, but I don't care. It's just the truth.
From the day my daughter was born, her skin color has been a discussion. And I'm even more sad to say that my daughter's skin color has always been a discussion amongst the darker skinned family members that I have. No, it's no secret that colorism is rampant in Jamaica. I am not going to sit here and pretend that it's not. Being light skinned has given me various privileges over the years growing up, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So I don't know why it surprised me so much when all the colorism started against my daughter. Now I'll just insert a little picture here of the difference between me and my daughter's skin tone. So here's a picture of my baby holding my hand. As you can see, my daughter is significantly darker than me. I love her skin tone. I love her skin tone. I love that she never ever looks washed out. She never goes yellow. Like, I love my daughter's skin tone. But more importantly than that, my daughter loves her skin tone. She loves it, and she would tease me and tell me I'm yellow and whatever. She knows she's beautiful and she loves it. When we were in Africa the other day, she was like, she tanned and she went super, super dark, and she was like, Mommy, look at me. I'm so beautiful. She was like, I wish I could get darker so I can be like rainbows, like oil, you know, like a oil spill when it goes like rainbowy. She's like, oh, look how beautiful. I love that for her. But the comments from my people, from people who should be the most supportive, are really fucking getting to me. Really getting to me. Yesterday, we met up with a family member who she has not seen for 6 months. Now, obviously, this happens regardless of your skin tone. In the winter, you're going to be slightly paler. In the summer, you're going to be darker. That compiled, like, added to the fact that we've not long come back from Africa. It's been a week. It's also been hot as hell in England. She's tanned. She's super, super dark. And the whole 3 hours that we spent together, the whole conversation was, why? You sure you repeating this? She blacky? Why your daughter so black? Oh, I'm sorry, she never come with your skin tone. And then today, they called me again, and the only comment was, oh my God, your daughter's so black. I can't believe how she get black. Why make you make the picnic out in the sun and burn up so she get black? No, fortunately, my daughter didn't hear any of this. She was not subject to any of this. But when I tell you, every time the loaded word black came out of their mouth, it was like a stab in the chest. My daughter is perfect the way she is. I love her skin. I love her love of her skin. She knows she's beautiful. She knows her melanin is a blessing. And I just really wish that others could see that. And I live in constant fear that one day she is actually going to be subject to the colorism. She will actually hear it for herself, and it will crush her. And I almost hate myself for not being darker, because it's not like she can come home and say, well, at least me and my mommy look the same. I don't know. This is just a ramble. I'm really hurting over this, and I just needed to get it off my chest. I also wanted to add that the part of my family who have been making these comments are super dark skinned themselves, like super dark maroon descendants. These are not like light skinned people. It's people whose self-hatred is so strong that they're projecting it onto my daughter. And my fear is that it's coming from family is what is going to really destroy my daughter. I just wanted to add that. Anyway, that's all.
I just saw a video from Romain Virgo and his wife talking about a recent experience they've had with a specific business. Basically, Elizabeth, I think that's her name, Romain's Virgo wife. I'm sorry if it's not. But she was looking at a place to have her baby shower because she didn't have a baby shower with her first child. So she was like, you know what, let me go all out with the second. They had a venue in mind, but they wanted some drapes to kind of put in, I don't know if it's a restaurant, but they want some drapes to kind of separate their area where they're going to stay, just for a little privacy. A request was made to the owner. Basically, the owner went ballistic. The owner said that not only will they not accommodate this, but they've had more people who spend more money than Romain Virgo and his wife, and they've never made this request. So how dare they
Basically, that's how I think he or she sounded on the phone. How dare you make this request? You don't really have that much money. And it got me thinking, it does not matter how much money you make in this country or how well known you are. There are just some places that you will never belong. There's some people that will never think that you are as good as them or you deserve to be at the same table as them. It's funny because you have Jamaicans out there that are defending these type of people, and these people won't even give you their dog's leftover. Like, they don't see you as anything but a dollar sign, and you defend them. You support them. You laugh, you kiki with them, you haha with them. I don't know if it's like Stockholm syndrome, or I don't know if it's the way that people want to belong. But you have to be aware of who you're supporting. And to that business owner, it's giving never see come see. Because apparently he or she started name dropping about how many persons or the type of people in business or whatever that's been to their establishment. Frightened? That you must frighten. Anybody who start name dropping in a conversation, I'm like, okay, this person is not used to anything. I'm just really sorry it happened to them. But it's just a reminder to us that it really don't matter how successful you are. Some people will just never accept you. And that is fine. Go where you're accepted and go where you're treated right.
Blue Royal is only considered beautiful because she's light-skinned. Blue Royal is only considered beautiful because she's light-skinned. These are the same dark-skinned black men who will say Spice is ugly. These are the same dark-skinned black men who would say Tony Ann, one of these TikTokers, they would say the other dark-skinned ones are not that pretty. But they're the ones that are saying, oh, Blue Royal is so beautiful. Blue Royal is so pretty on the internet. She's one of the most beautiful TikTokers. Jamaica always has a colorist ideal or ideas, or the ideals of beauty is always that. Light skin. That's it. That's where it stops. That's where colorism stops in Jamaica. If you're light skinned, you're prettier. They always consider you prettier because you're light skinned. Regardless of your attitude, regardless of your behavior, regardless of all the other things that you have done that are wrong in societal mindset, in the island of Jamaica, you're considered beautiful because you're light skinned. And they will put you on a props. They will put you on a pedestal, regardless of what you do. Because if she was behaving the same way other dark-skinned women are behaving, or if dark-skinned women would behave the way she would behave, they wouldn't say, oh, you're too pretty for do certain things. Why you do certain things like that for Blue Royal? You're too pretty. I'm 47 years old and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. The darker skinned women are bleaching their skin because they think lighter skin is beautiful. The darker skinned men are bleaching their skin because they think they would represent more of what society wants. This is not new. The way they're propping up Blue Royal, especially the dark-skinned Jamaican men, I'm not surprised. Having conversation with you guys and hearing you guys speak about Blue Royal, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
To be honest, I never experienced racism in Jamaica all the years I was living there. I say, it didn't even cross my mind. Like, when I was little and my mother car back, I was driving down the hill and a little girl or a little boy yelled out to me, white girl. It just come in like a pet name to me. And to be honest, that's how it always was. And when I get big now, and I have my own car, and I get like a flat tire, I'm dip on the side of the road and come out of the car, gone in the trunk, come here, look for the jack. And by the time I open the car back, me just see 1 or 2 cars stop. And them offering to help me, and before me know it, 2 tools them fix up the tire and me go about the business. And just Jamaican people, they're warm, friendly, and full of joke. And the next thing I remember now too is nobody no go by them name and them birth certificate. Nobody at all. Them go by alias all the while. So like I remember some name. So one of them is Fat Man, and him don't fat, you know. And next one Germs. And next one Pressure Foot, and Pinchers and Dog Heart. You name it, they come up with some name. And if you ever hear the story of how the name stick on them, you're dead with laugh.
Me used to love my grandmother back in them days. You know, she used to say some real effed up stuff sometime. One time we just in the front room, minding our own business, watching the TV, Nickelodeon, cable, London, my love. And my grandmother just put out the paper and she turned to me and she just said to me, you know what I noticed about Marcus? He not get the good quality complexion like the rest of him family. And I was like, what are you talking about, Mom? No, you not get the good quality and the high color like the Depas them. And that me notice. And I was like, right. These times I was like 11 years old. My grandmother just more or less told me that I was ugly and I didn't get the good complexion like my father and people them, because my father people them, you know, them have them brown skin, red skin people and all of them sort of something that she know from a long time in Jamaica, my love, where she even know the family from when she had picked me. So for her to have a grandchild now in the future that is a part of that same said family, and my light skinness wasn't as brown and red as them, it was something that just alerted to her suddenly out of nowhere in the front room that day. But it wasn't the first time she actually come up with that. She come up with them things there more than one time. Like at the time she would say like my auntie them or my uncle them from my father's side or whatever. She said, Marcus, I couldn't believe her. When me see her auntie, you see, me just look on her up and down. Look here. The woman probably I wonder why me I look on her such have a lovely complexion. Bono no nose. Woman good quality. Yes. Them like any of them, she'll come up with all kinds of rubbish and these kinds of things. But you know what? It's a time and the place and the context to which some of these people come from, and it's a throwback to these dirty, stinking colonial people. So although she was the mouthpiece for these things, I understand that she was puppeted through a series, through a historical experience of racism, colorism, where white people spent centuries devising this idea that the darker you are, the worse you are, the more disgusting you are. You know, the Willie Lynch syndrome. You know, here you are in a place like Jamaica where at any one time the enslaved population were the majority, you get me? So if they didn't want to just lift up the place and mash down the people in Armenia like Haiti, they could have done so. So it was very important for them, you know, to integrate certain tensions and challenges amongst the enslaved population. And one of those things were, you know, set the men against the women against the men, the old against the young against the old, and then also create divisions within the color bar. So to create these fake tensions that really don't exist. So our attention is so focused on one another, right? That I am in the field, but I really want to move up to the house for Massa, but I'm not forget to have Massa do the wall of this and the wall of we pop down in this. So here comes post-enslavement or whatever, you just have this historical reference of colorism. And then obviously that would have been seen even in regard to money-wise, you know, biracial, you know, enslaved people, the many Scottish enslavers that had children with their enslaved women, they would never take parental responsibility over the people them, but they would send them down to England for educate themselves. So of course, even just in the physical landscape, you had a coloured freed class, right? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have it in front of me, there was a guy called Dr. Love. Someone correct me in the comments. I think his name is Dr. Love, and he was one of the first created a newspaper in Jamaica, part of those the free coloured communities and whatever. There's a whole heap of them, I love. When I'm calling colored is brown skin, light skin. So light skin almost became a symbol of prosperity, right? That to prosper out of this disaster that I'm in, it represented something else. So here you get 40, 50 years later, where my grandmother would then turn to me and say, and I get the good quality like your family. Well, people, I'm here to tell you that we're filled with quality in our real life. And you know that one time my uncle must have said at the dinner table, Oh God, what's up on the dinner table? It just perplexes me to know that I have this complexion for know what these people did. You understand? I can't even actually really tell you what the man said because it wouldn't be appropriate for TikTok. But basically, he was questioning the way in which how he became the complexion that he is, and therefore that just disgusted him. But he used a very few choice words about the people in question, the Bakra. He might talk about the Bakra.
Tell me someone is colorist without saying someone is colorist.
Okay. It's my turn. So if you don't know, I'm 100% Jamaican and I'm Afro-Jamaican. Like, I'm not mixed with anything. I'm 100% black. Blackly black, fluorescent black. I'm black, okay? Everybody in my family is around my skin tone or a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, whatever. But I have this one aunt who came out like really light skinned, but she would still bleach her skin. And I don't know why she would bleach her skin. And also too, in Jamaica, bleaching your skin is a thing. Like, everybody bleaches their skin. And this aunt convinced a lot of people in my family to bleach their skin, like my mom, my cousins, whatever. So from the ages of 12 to 14, I had really bad skin. I had cystic acne and I had like horrible skin. I had spots all over my face and I was desperate to try anything to get rid of my acne. I was so desperate to get rid of my acne back then. Like, if you were to tell me to rub cat piss on my face to help me get rid of my acne, I probably would have done it. So one day my aunt came to me and she was like, you should try this product, which was bleaching cream. I was just like, why am I going to try this? And she was like, oh, try it because it's going to help get rid of your black spots and your acne. I promise you. As I said, I was desperate. I was like, okay, it's going to help me get rid of my black spots on my face and I'm going to look better. Then why not? So for the next couple of weeks, I started rubbing this product on my face and my skin got really light. And honestly, I look ridiculous because my face was really, really light skin and the rest of my body was dark skin. People were coming up to me asking me what's wrong with me. I look horrible. Am I sick? Okay, it was really bad. So this is what I looked like. It was really bad. And this is what I looked like before I started bleaching. So I told my parents, I'm going to stop bleaching because I don't like it. But around this time, my aunt ended up seeing me and my aunt was like, oh my God, you look amazing. She was like, you look so good. Your skin looks so light skinned and you look so good. She was just praising me. She was the only person praising me. It was so weird. She was telling me to put it on my neck and continue to use it. I'm like, girl, what? No, I look ridiculous.
If it was one thing that I could change about Jamaicans is the colorist and color shock mindset. Yeah, because like I remember one time when I was in Jamaica a few years back and I was out in the sun and I remember adults telling me to stay out of the sun because I was getting too dark. And not only that, as someone who's brown skin, when I was in Jamaica, the girls were saying I was the darkest they would go for. So sometimes like when you're benefiting from all this stuff, you need to make sure to call it out and try to dismantle the colorist mindset.
So a group of people went to Jamaica, and I'm not sure what race is it, you can take your guess if you want to. And they built a hotel, and they said that no black people weren't allowed, even though they're building it in Jamaica. I'm sorry? Yes, even though it was in Jamaica. So let me guess. So, thank you. So what they did, the Jamaicans, they burned the hotel down to the ground. They burned it down to the ground.
Some comments people saying that people in Argentina are racist. And before me could have come out and come out the door, it's a plane full of Jamaican that just land. About business I look for Uber, me hear one woman a chat patois. So I don't know about one about. We ain't got no racist problem down here. People don't care about you. They don't care. Them not even stay by you. People just talk about them business. Them honestly not care. Down in Ushuaia, which is a smaller town, which you'd expect it from small towns that are not used to seeing black people. I mean, we tell them, so Jamaican, all they want to talk about are Usain Bolt and Shirley and Fraser and the rest of people. They can't even talk English good, and them talk about Jamaica, run fast, wrap it up, and I show we say we're strong and them. Some people don't care about me. When I make something will happen like 20, 40 years ago, I'm not saying that it didn't happen, I'm just saying like, that's not the reality today.
Y'all hate to see dark-skinned women happy so bad. Like, at one point we need to address the severe colorism in our society, because why is it that everybody attack Janelle Brumfield every single... The girl don't trouble nobody. She not walk and picture with people every single minute. Janelle, stop run. Yeah, follow back, come on. So what? The girl live her soft life. The girl that travel. The girl that have her house. She live her life. Wanna leave her alone. But the girl strive in peace. What is she want follow back her man? You know why? It bad on her so much because she dark skin. I'm going to say that part out loud. Because she dark skin, that's the only you guys don't think that dark skin women deserve good things. And that's an internal struggle, like an internal racism thing. Like, what?
Thank you for this comment, because the intersection of classism, racism, and colorism in Jamaica is a much needed topic. And one of the things that I learned when I started looking into the history of all this is that integral to the whole concept of Jamaica's development post-colonialism was that we not talk about it. Do you understand? It was conditioned. It was a conditioning of the people to not discuss this. All the research on race in Jamaica talk about this silent topic that everyone knows, like everyone knows that this is happening and no one talks about it. And that's why anytime the issue comes up, you will see a whole bunch of people say, this has nothing to do with racism. This is an American thing. We have classism, yes. We have colorism, yes. But there's no racism here. A bunch of people are running up and are not understanding the intersectionality that is going on. Classism, racism, and colorism are intertwined in Jamaica. One does not exist without the other. And they are all the children of white supremacy. They are all born out of white supremacist culture that was handed down to us through colonialism. It took the United States more than 150 years after independence to have its racial reckoning with the civil rights movement in the 1960s. Jamaica has not yet had its racial reckoning. We have not yet gotten to the point where the majority of the people who are being marginalized, the people who are being denied access to the resources of the country they call home, the people who every day are subjected to the ills of racism, classism, and colorism in Jamaica. We have not yet gotten to the point where these people en masse are prepared to stand up for their rights against the minority non-black elite. But I strongly believe that a racial reckoning will happen in Jamaica. It may not happen in my lifetime, but it has to happen, because only for so long will a peoples endure oppression. And I believe we're still being oppressed. And just as African Americans stood up in the 1960s and said enough is enough, I firmly believe that this day of reckoning will come to Jamaicans one day.
And like, was it small school?
Okay, I don't know, maybe it was in the middle, but like it was very, like I went to almost an all-white school. There were colored people, but at that point they were letting people call them slurs. So at that point I said, you're not even colored at that point. Like, you're not, like, you know what, it was really bad.
Okay, so I'm gonna address this comment because I've been seeing a lot of it. So I am not African American, I'm African born and raised. When I came to this country, the first thing that I decided to do was use the privilege that African Americans have made for people like me coming into this country and being able to come here, was go and get educated about the history of America and all that they've been through, because racism obviously didn't start in America, nor does it end there. It doesn't just only exist in America. I was able to do IB history in school, as well as African American studies. I also took a Black woman education course. So that taught me a lot about the history. And I think that it's very easy to use African Americans as a scapegoat for racism. It's not a matter of bringing American issues into Jamaica. Racism, again, exists even outside of America, and one of the biggest births of racism is colorism, which is very prevalent in Jamaica. So I think the impact of racism also is faced in Jamaica. And I'm mostly speaking on Black Americans, because when we say certain things like, oh, we don't see color, and oh, please don't bring that thing here because, you know, we don't do that here, it feels like it is passively aggressively being pointed towards Black Americans. Color blindness sounds peaceful, but real justice actually requires acknowledgement. And I want to say that because racism does not only exist in America, it exists everywhere else outside of it. Everywhere else, especially for Black Americans. They do not feel completely welcomed everywhere they go. I was giving Jamaica props for making us feel very welcomed because that's something that is rare because of racism, not even because of anything they've done, just because of who they are, because of what the world has decided that they're going to be. So I was giving Jamaica props for that. I was saying that it felt nice to be very welcomed as a Black person. For some reason, it has turned the comment section into a place of trying to prove your love for white people. I do not care. There's no privilege I get for speaking about race, and there's no privilege I feel within being in my own.
Jamaican people need to understand that them can't out of many one people them way out of every serious possible discussion we can have as a collective. Like I can't be having a serious conversation regarding the actual reality of colorism. And you're telling me that colorism don't exist in Jamaica. Why? Because there are Black people that are rich. Bestie, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You wouldn't say that about any other country. Why do you think Jamaica is the exception? And the reason why some of you don't want to have this conversation is because the day we actually admit that certain behaviors are in fact colorist is the day that some of you will have to confront the fact that some of you are in fact colorists. And it didn't matter the fact that you were black. It didn't matter if you hung around Black people or had sex with people that had certain features, etc., etc. You're gonna have to confront that self-image or perception of other people and the aesthetics that you associate them with. But a lot of you aren't ready for that change. So you'd rather out of many one people you way out of the conversation.
Colorism is something diasporic wide that we haven't really addressed, but because I'm Jamaican, I'm going to speak about it in a Jamaican context. One of the best indicators of colorism globally is the percentage of people within that community that engages in skin bleaching. And we know where Jamaica is on that. The mistake we make in this approach is starting with our personal opinions on bleaching. You see, human beings modify themselves based on messages being transmitted within that society. And whether you want to believe it or not, there are perceived and actual advantages of being light-skinned in Jamaica. Mr. Purchase again for reminding you, because someone on the turban, it's not about your personal opinion on bleaching, it's the message that is being sent. Though we are majority black and ugly as a concept is as Jamaican as Aki and Sawfish, and that is sad. And if you're brown and pretty and go missing, your post will get shared more than somebody with a darker complexion. Now this post isn't for your reductive opinion on what you think about skin complexion. It's to engage in a conversation about changing the message.
So guys, we have watched the full videos and the people reaction about whatever they are going through in the Jamaican about the colorism. Remember, in Jamaica we have two different colors. We have the light skin and the dark skin. So people have it that the light skinned people are favorable regardless of their behavior or whatever they are, the situation they are in. Remember, they are saying it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of money for you to turn your skin color, so that in a simpler term, it is that you have to bleach your color to become a light skin so that you can be accepted in the Jamaican community and in the Jamaican culture. So guys, I don't know where this came from, but it has come it is a major blow to the dark skinned people. Remember, Jamaica is majorly the major skins in the Jamaica, it is the dark skin. So the white skin color and the fact that the racism and the colorism has become a major factor. During the colonial system, we had the whites, and the whites, they brought that culture that when you are not white, you don't belong to the society, or you have no value in the society. It is a major blow to some of the black the blacks and the dark skinned people, because they have to change their skin color, of which the changing of skin color, it has got a lot of side effects. So whenever you use those chemicals, remember it is chemicals that you are using, so it is either you benefit from them or they cost you. But many people, they are saying that it is working for them, and at times it gets traumatized, they get traumatized since they are dark skinned, so they have just to change their skin color, since the colorism has become a major factor in the Jamaican society. One person said that he was going out with his friends, and it happened that he was the one who is light skinned, but they had to stop his friends and ask them to kneel down, and they were somehow tortured, yeah, due to their darkness. So you see, it is it is a disadvantage advantageous that when it comes to the colorism, it is the dark people, they are really suffering back there in the Jamaica. And when we talk about the classism is all about there are those people who have their classes above others. So it becomes a major blow to this of the low classes, because they can sit together and reason together, since they are of the low class. So it is a big blow again to the low class people, since they have no any say, or they have no any advice to the classes, the one in the big class. So people, my brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, let's remember one thing: we are just one people. It is only the color, but among the colors you can choose the dark skin. Black is beauty and dark is beauty. This thing of racism, this thing was for the European, it was for the whites. It is so intimidating, and it is so annoying to see us fighting each other or hating each other due to the skin or the colorism. It is so shameful of us, because this was not our culture. This is not our culture. The culture that was fought by our ancestors, they didn't tell us to start racism and colorism and classism. They, whatever they were all about, the message they passed through us is that you should love one another regardless of his or her color, because the color, what the color is, nothing matters. Whatever matters, it is the blood. Yeah, the blood origin is the one that matters. You find someone that comes from Jamaica, like your neighbor, he is a dark skin and you are a brown skin. He has nothing to tell you, but you just you look at him as an enemy. Why should you do so? And yet you are neighbors, and you are one people. You come from one same country, one bloodline. So why should you hate another due to the colorism? That's not good. Remember, the racism starts with the white, and we are against it. In the past years, that is the major thing that our leaders used to fight for, like the unity. Remember, when you say unity, the black unity has been standing henceforth until today. So it is going against the ancestor when we start a colorism. It is a big blow to our ancestors, since whenever they sing whatever they started, it is going down, and it is not supposed to be going down. So it is another wake up call to brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, that we stop that colorism and classism. Let's love each other the way we find love from before. So guys, that was all for now. Thanks for watching and thanks for your support. Till next time, one love, wagwan.